Hello, Emerald Rising Group. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to pop on. I know it's middle of the afternoon, so might be at work. A lot of you might not be able to jump on live, but you'll be able to listen after. So I think I'm going to give you like a minute and see who jumps on. If you do jump on, shoot me a heart or something so I know you're there. The live looks a little different than it did before, but okay. And I apologize. Oh, hey! I apologize in advance if my door goes a-knocking. My 4-year-old is out there playing, fingers crossed, and I just put the 3-year-old down for a nap. So cross your fingers she stays asleep. So, okay, I'm going to get started. And interact with me. This feels so weird talking to myself when I feel like nobody's there. So I'm Ashley Tillett, and I have been a coach for a long time now. Going on 6 years. I think it's been almost 6 years, or it is 6 years. And, but taking it seriously for about 4.5, almost five. I was a teacher. I was a kindergarten and second grade teacher at one point for 6 years, and I decided that I was going to stay home, which I never thought I wanted to do. And so I retired myself with coaching from the teaching world. And a lot of you might know, or maybe you don't, maybe you have no idea, but Lindsay is my coach now. But when I first got started, I didn't really have a coach who was like really working the business side. So when I decided, like, I think I want to make a real business out of this, leadership, which is what we're talking about today, I was lacking. I had no idea like what I was doing. I didn't have a ton of an example to follow, but I do want to make sure that if you're listening to this, you don't use that as a scapegoat to not build your business. I've heard so many people say, well, if I just had, a stronger upline, well, if I had just had support, well, if I had just had this, then it would have worked for me. Or, that person did really well in this business because they had, such and such as their coach. And that's just not true. Because even if Lindsay was my coach from the beginning, she kind of inherited me 3 years later, but even if she was my coach from the beginning, it wouldn't have been her job to make me a leader. So I was not born with this like natural leadership ability. I'm pretty introverted. You wouldn't really know it. I kind of consider myself this extroverted introvert. Because once you get me talking, I'm good. But, it's hard for me to do certain things that involve large groups of people. And so I had to really work on myself. And I found myself doing the comparison game, right? So coaches that signed up at the same time as me were all of a sudden just like, 5 and 10 and 15 star diamond and in the millionaire club and all these things. And I was like, what is wrong with me that I'm not doing those things yet? Why am I still, here? And this was a couple of years ago. And I thought to myself, oh, I know exactly why. I'm comparing my beginning with their middle. And so I kind of found myself in this point of personal development that was crucial, because it's not that they were better than me or they were anything different necessarily. It's just that they had that more of a natural born leader ability, and I was learning. And so in the very beginning of my coaching business, leadership was bad. Guys, it was so bad because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was doing it all wrong, which now I'm thankful for. But in the beginning, you're like, man, this is kind of defeating. So I wrote things down so I didn't forget. Things that I did wrong. I'm just gonna point them out, because some people think, well, if I do things wrong, then I'm automatically gonna fail and I can't recover from that. That's not true. Time hop memories, or whatever it's called now, is a great way of reminding you what you've done wrong in the past And a couple of things popped up recently that I just had to laugh. So I was advertising for a challenge group, and I found these beautiful women with these perfect bodies to use as like advertisement on my, spring into whatever I called it. It was so cheeseball. And I put like my link on the bottom. Good job, Ashley. I put all the program names like all over the place. It was really bad. And I looked at the like responses to it. There was nothing. I think there was one like, and it was probably my mom. And so it was really bad. And you know what? I didn't do that again because I thought, well, that didn't quite get the reaction I was hoping for. And so I didn't do that again. So I fixed it. So I was failing forward, and in turn, my leadership ability was growing because I was doing things, just doing them instead of waiting for someone to tell me how. I was learning the ways of how this coaching stuff works. And so that when I started like growing my team and adding people to my team, I could tell them everything that I did wrong in the beginning so that one, they didn't have to go through the same growing pains, and two, they can understand that you don't have to be perfect. So as far as taking ownership of your leadership, you just have to start. You just have to start. And so when I decided I was going to really grow, I was really going to grow this team, I remember I retired from teaching, and it was my very first day, and I had this 7-day-old baby sitting on the couch with me, and I had, turned in my papers from teaching, and I was done, and I sat there, and I was like, all right, now I'm going to grow this business. And nothing happened because I didn't know what I was doing. Just because you retire from teaching doesn't mean all of a sudden your other business takes off. You have to actually, put in some work. So I sat down, paper and pencil, and I said, okay, what am I not doing now that I know other leaders are doing? Not that I have to do them the same way, but what am I not doing? Well, I wasn't hosting team calls because I didn't think anybody would show up. Really wasn't sure. I wasn't steadily growing my team as far as like adding coaches, and I had no new coach mentorship. I would jump on this getting started right call with whatever new coach I had and just kind of like talk and get to know them, which is important, but hey, guess what you got? It's a business call. So you have to actually talk about the business. So I wrote down a list of all these things that I wanted to start doing, and I took one at a time. So I had a team call, and there were like 3 people. And I was like, sweet, people showed up, all right. And then it grew, and then there were like 15 people, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then there were 20 people. And through consistency, it grew. And so that was one thing of leadership. People in like my lower downline were starting to jump on these team calls. And so I was their leader essentially, and I was like, man, this is really neat because I didn't think that I was capable of any of this stuff. So then I don't want to skip over anything, but so what I looked like as this new leader is kind of had to like almost fake it till I made it. And I know it's kind of like this cliche term, like fake it till you make it, but do it. Act as if you are at your goal. Act as if you are this 5, 10, 15 star diamond. Whatever your goal is in the business, act as if you're already there and guide people, and don't be afraid to fail along the way, because your failure is what's going to teach you how to move forward, essentially. And then it's also going to teach you how to mentor those new coaches and not make them go through the growing pains that you went through. So don't be afraid of failure. It's a giant part of leadership. If you never fail, you're never going to teach the rest of your team how to succeed, essentially. So I also want to talk about when your business takes a dip, because it's going to happen. It happens to all of us. So, and that has to do with you. And some people don't like to hear that. They like to, blame the company or blame the universe or whatever. They like to blame other things except for besides themselves. And I'm going to be the first to tell my team when I'm in the wrong. So last year, I spent 7 months at the hospital with my dad. He was trying to survive cancer, and he did survive, but I was driving to Sarasota 5 times a day, put 40,000 miles on my car last year. All of my energy and time went to my dad. I still took care of my personal goals. I still hit Success Club 10 every single month. I still, added coaches here and there to my team, but I wasn't having team calls. I wasn't having one-on-ones with my girls. I wasn't running incentives for the month. I wasn't really being a leader. And I was in survival mode. And so you're going to go through seasons in your business where it's either a season of growth, a season of maybe a plateau, or maybe life is so insane that you're just trying to survive. But that, and I hope you don't take this harshly, but that doesn't give you the right to quit. It doesn't. Whether you consider yourself a leader or not, you have an obligation and a duty to help other people when you become a coach, and that includes your team. So you can't just drop off the face of the earth. Your leadership at least has to maintain your own personal goals. So I was the first to jump into my team when all of that was finally done and apologize on one of our first team calls that I had in a long time. And I humbled myself and I said, guys, I apologize for not being the leader that you know me as. I apologize for being a little absent as far as leadership goes. I'm sorry. This year will be a year of growth. I am no longer in survival mode and you have me now. But there's something very powerful about apologizing. It's almost like apologizing to your kids when you freak out and you yell and you get down on your knees into their level and you say, buddy, I'm so sorry. Mommy was wrong and I own that. And that's how you have to be with your leadership, either your leadership strengths or your leadership weaknesses. Come down and tell your team, I'm working on this. I'm trying to get here. I want you to come with me, but humble yourself also. And then I found myself in the beginning questioning, why am I not attracting business builders? Why am I not attracting leaders and these strong coaches? And I had to have a little bit of a gut check. And it was because I wasn't one. I, in the beginning, wasn't hitting Success Club every single month. I was kind of inviting, kind of not. I was bomb at sharing my own journey because that's easy. Guys, I'm sorry, that's the easy part. Like if you are posting on social media and you're like, but I'm sharing my results all the time and I'm doing this and I just don't understand why people aren't flocking to me and I'm not hitting Success Club 30. I'm sharing all the time. That's not how it works. Don't work like that. Wish it did, but it doesn't. You have to actually be proactive enough to be in those people's inboxes and saying, hey, thank you so much for the love on that post. Are you working on your fitness journey too? Or does this seem like something you'd like to be a part of? Or invite them to a sneak peek. Whatever it is, you have to be the one as a leader of your business to show up in those inboxes. That was a tangent. I wasn't even meaning to go there. But so I had to check myself at that point and think, okay, I want this XYZ coach. Am I that XYZ coach? And that was a hard pill to swallow. So I made this, it's on my computer screen, so I'm going to read it. But I made this checklist, and I will post it in the page after this, it says, when you're growing your team, what does your ideal coach do? So what are some of the things that if you signed a new coach, you would want them to do? And I made my list, and I put little boxes next to it, and I'm going to post it in there, and I want you to either print it or just pull it up on PicMonkey and do the checks in the boxes of what things are important to you, and then you're going to self-check. Those things that you said are so important, are you doing them? So first one, hitting Success Club every single month. I know as a new coach that seems like impossible, but I promise it's not. It's really not. I made a decision. It was in December, and I said this is going to be the first month that I hit Success Club on purpose, and then I'm never going to miss it. And I didn't. And I've gone, I think, 60 months of not missing Success Club, and then I've gone 40-something of hitting Success Club 10 every month. That's through 2 babies. My dad almost dying, building a house. I don't think I was getting married in that time. I don't even remember. But a lot of things. 2 giant moves. Just a lot. And life's crazy. So hitting Success Club every month. Following a fitness program and sharing about it. If you're doing a program and you're not talking about it, you're not doing it. That sounds so dumb, but you're not, because nobody else knows. And in this business, this is our work. It's your job to take care of yourself. It's your job to work out, to drink Shakeology, to use our products, and to show other people how they work. That's your job. It's not that hard of a job. So are you doing that? And then drinking Shakeology. You don't have to do the, the like, hey girl, it's my shake, I love you so much. Like, you don't have to do that. Those posts, those are always real weird. But dropping it in, making it known that, yeah, you do drink the Kool-Aid and you're proud of it, and it's not this like weird weight loss shake that makes you feel like you're gonna have a heart attack and die. It's just a normal health food shake full of dense nutrition that, makes you feel good. Whatever it does for you. And I told my team a long time ago, like, what's your Shakeology why? We have our why for our business and this and that. What's your Shakeology why? Why do you drink it? Mine was my immune system. It sucked. I was around little tiny germ babies in kindergarten all the time. I was sick a lot. So that's why I started drinking Shakeology. What's yours? Share that with people. Be bold. I think I did a comparison of Shakeology and a pack of cigarettes once. Cigarettes are more expensive. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Don't complain about my shake if you're gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes. Be bold, be you. Don't sugarcoat around who you are just because somebody might not like you. Doing your personal development every single day, because that will save you when the world says no to you. It's the worst thing that could happen in this business, just so you know. The worst absolute thing that could happen is that somebody's gonna say no. Or they're not gonna say anything. Or they're gonna say that crap doesn't work. Or they're gonna laugh at you. Who cares? Those aren't your people. Move on. Don't let them dictate the way you lead your business. They don't take ownership of your leadership. You do. Using Instagram and Instagram stories and Facebook to share all the things. Not just, hi, I'm a Beachbody coach. Like, look at these things that I do. And like my workout and stuff. We get it. Everybody knows what we are now. But a lot of people don't know what we do still. They've heard of us, but they don't know us. And so people aren't going to your social media to learn about Beachbody. People are going to your social media to learn about you, and they want to see your life, and they want to see things that you're doing to make your life better, because maybe they want to do it too. So I'm looking at ads coaches to your team monthly. Do you do that? Do you have a desire to do that? If you are Emerald Rising, if you are wanting to grow your team, you want to become a diamond coach, star diamond, 5-star, whatever, it's important to grow that team, because I can promise you your first 8 coaches are not going to get you there. Your first 10 coaches are not going to get you to 10-star diamond. You are going to have to build and build and build, because coaches are going to quit. Coaches are going to disappear. Coaches are going to be so hardcore, you're going to have diamonds and you're going to have all these people, and then all of a sudden they quit. You have to be okay with it, and that's where that personal development comes in. You have to be okay that one day you're a 5-star and then maybe you drop down to 2-star, because you know what? You own your leadership, and you just go find more people to help, more people who want to build this kind of business. You just keep going. You don't quit just because it got hard for a second. Basic, listening to the National Wake Up Call every Monday. It is a great way to get your brain in the work mindset first thing. Because you had Saturday, Sunday, who knows what you did, you're out with family, you're not thinking about it. This is your own business, and you have to be responsible for it, and that requires a mindset shift. This can't be something that you just kind of sort of do when you sort of kind of have time. This has to be a decision every single day that you wake up with a fire in your belly, deciding, I'm going to go change some lives. I'm going to change my own life. I'm going to add to my family through this. I'm going to build a world of financial freedom, because that's what I want. But I want to help people at the same time. And starting with the National Wake Up Call every single week is a really great way to get your mindset right. And then, I'm trying to read it. Are you present in your challenge groups? Guys, I'm telling you something. My very first group that I was a part of, I was the only one posting. Me, I wasn't the coach, P.S. I was it. And that's when the day of the 90-day challenge groups, I don't know if anybody even remembers those. I was doing P90X, because that's all we had. We're spoiled now. I had P90X, and it was 90 days, and I just plugged in every single day, posted my little heart out. I posted my meals, I posted my workout. I was like, hey girls, where's everybody? It was just me all the time, constantly posting. But you know what? At the end of that group, I could confidently say that I showed up. I showed up. And now, as a coach in running my groups, I show up every damn day. Every day. My sweaty, disgusting face, my meals, my Shakeology, encouraging them. I go through every single night before I go to bed and I comment on all of my girls' things. I'm there, I'm present, and that makes a difference. So are you? Ask yourself that question. Committing to going to Summit. Are you committed to going to Summit? It's a big commitment, but guess what? I've never missed it. Even when I wasn't really sure if I wanted to build this business, I went, I was there. So commit. Showing up for team calls. Are you showing up? Maybe you're not at that point in your business where you're ready to lead them, but show up on them. Add value, because you can pull something from that you can teach one of your new coaches if they weren't on that call. Add value. So I'm going to post this checklist into the group, and I want you to do it. What is important to you? If you signed up a coach, check that. And then I want you to check the boxes that you're actually doing. And if they don't align, ask yourself, maybe that's why I'm not attracting the type of coaches that I want, and that my leadership is a little bit lacking, because this all has to do with leadership. You lead by example. And if the person you want to lead isn't what you're displaying, then you're not going to attract that person to be a leader to them. That was a lot of like weird jumbled up words, but I hope it made sense. So I'm going to post this, and I just want you to make sure that you know that throughout this business, it's not your upline's responsibility to help you succeed. It's not. They're a sounding board. Find Google. Google's your best friend. It is up to you to succeed in this business. Take ownership. Find your areas of weakness and grow. Don't use them as scapegoats to fail, because that is the only way you can fail, is if you give up and if you let your excuses own your leadership. That's all I've got for you. So I hope that was helpful. I am going to post this for you so you have a little activity to do, and then that will really help you reflect on your areas that you need to improve. And I promise you, consistency. Do them for 6 months straight, and you will start attracting and building the team that you kind of have in your little dream box of your image of your business. Don't be afraid to dream big. Cast a huge vision for your group, and understand that the plans for your business that you have might actually be smaller than, someone else's plans for you. Might be bigger than you think. So anyways, thank you for popping on. I'm sorry I went a little bit long, but I hope it was helpful. Have an awesome, awesome week. Make it count, and I'll talk to you later.